Welcome to NetJF Scholars YouTube channel. In our first video on design features, we have come across a feature called specialization, which tells about where the speech organs are not only meant for eating, also for speech production. So in this lecture, we are going to look at the organs of speech productions. This topic is not directly asked in the UGC NET examination, but it is very important to understand the topics in articulatory phonetics, such as place of articulation, manner of articulation, and voicing. So we will try to understand the organs of speech. In this video, we'll first look at the diagram and then we'll talk about the organs one by one, and we'll also look at which are active organs and which are passive organs at the end of the video. So first, we will look at the image and try to understand the organs of speech and where they are placed and what are they. So first we'll start from the front. Here you can see lips, upper lip and lower lip, and then we have teeth, upper teeth and lower teeth. Next comes the tongue. Here the tongue has divided tip, front, back, root, but there is one more, that is blade. Okay, and if you look at here we have nasal cavity and it is oral cavity. Okay, so nostril, that is nothing but nose, and as you can see here there is a alveolar ridge at the top, and after that we have hard palate, and after that we have velum or the soft palate, and at the end we have uvula. Okay, and the pharynx. Okay, this is epiglottis, larynx, vocal folds, and the glottis. So these are the all possible organs of speech. Okay, so we will try to understand the organs one by one. Okay, before that we will divide the organs into three main groups. First we will look at these three main groups and then we will look at the organs one by one. So the organs are divided or classified into three main groups: respiratory system, phonatory system, and articulatory system. In the respiratory system we have lungs and trach, that is where the air supplies. So the air first starts from and released from the lungs and then follows the trach, vocal trach, so that either it released from the oral cavity or from the nasal cavity. So that is the important here. So where that's the source of air? The source of air for the speech is the lungs. Okay, so when you do not have enough oxygen or air, then you cannot produce speech sounds. Okay, so the source of speech sounds is the lungs, air from the lungs, and its main function is to supply the air for speech. And next we have phonatory system. It consists of larynx, vocal folds, glottis. It's nothing but larynx or the voice box. Okay, if you touch this part you feel something odd that I will show in our next slides. Okay, and it consists of vocal folds. Okay, and the space between these are called glottis. So it before this the air just coming, okay, from the lungs, right? And once comes air, it become or convert as voice. Okay, it's a voice without any particular speech sound. It's just a voice. Okay, it's just a voice. So once it comes top of this, now the air start modifying by touching other different parts of the oral cavity. So the sound that comes out of the mouth appears differently, or you perceive it differently based on the flow, touch, destruction that has happened in the oral cavity. Okay, that is what articulatory system. It includes tongue, lips, teeth, alveolar ridge, hard palate, velum, uvula, nasal cavity. Okay, so which shapes the speech sounds. So almost 80% of the speech organs or belongs to the articulatory system, and the phonatory and the respiratory system is the source of the air, and the phonatory system is the voice source, and the modification takes place all in the articulatory system. Now we will look at the organs one by one. So first is the lungs. It's a primary source of air, provide the air stream for speech production for all speech sounds, whether it passes through nasal cavity or oral cavity, the source being lungs. Then we have larynx, which is also called as voice box. It's contain the vocal folds. Okay, it's control voicing, pitch, loudness for all the voice sounds. After that, we have vocal folds within the larynx. So these are the two elastic folds inside the larynx. Okay, this is completely a voice box. Okay, and here we have vocal folds or vocal cords. Okay, and within this we have two elastic folds which vibrate to produce the voiced sounds and remain silent, or to give, or they have multiple functions. When they are closed, you have very narrow space to escape. As a result, they vibrate and it gives the voiced sounds. But sometimes they are far apart where the air comes freely, so that there is no vibration in the vocal folds. As a result, the sounds produced voiced and voiceless sounds respectively. Next, glottis. It refers to the opening between the vocal folds. Okay, so it's talking about the regulates airflow during the speech, such as glottal stops. There is nothing to worry. You need the vocal folds are very important. Okay, so larynx consists of vocal folds, and the gap between the vocal folds called glottis, and the lungs is the primary source of the air. Next we have lips, which is entrance to the oral cavity. Okay, and it has perform multiple functions: open, close, round, spread, to produce the speech sounds such as p, b, m, f, v. In pa, two lips are involved. In ba, two lips are involved. In ma, two lips are involved. In fa and va, upper, lower teeth and upper lip are involved. Fa, upper lip and upper teeth and lower lips are involved. Next we have teeth. Upper front teeth plays an active role, provides a surface for articulation. Next we have alveolar ridge. As you can see, first we have a lip. Okay, and behind that we have the teeth. After that, this part is called as alveolar ridge, and this is hard palate. This is soft palate. Okay, these are lips. Then we have teeth. Then alveolar ridge, hard palate, soft palate. So alveolar ridge, rise ridge behind the upper teeth. So contact surface for the tongue. So tongue from the below goes in contact with the upper alveolar ridge, resulted into production of the sounds t, t, d, n, z, z, r, r. And hard palate, it's a bony roof of the mouth, supports a tongue movement, where help you to produce the sound y, y. Next, we have velum, as I shown. It is a soft palate. So it's a soft muscle behind the hard palate. So control the oral and nasal airflow, such as helps in producing the sounds such as k, g, r. And uvula, which is projection at the end of the velum, at the end of the soft palate, and it decides whether, if it is a particular sound, if let's say if it is a nasal sound, the velum rises, the velum lowered, so that air passes from the nasal cavity. If it is a oral sound, then it rises and blocks the nasal cavity. The air flows from the oral cavity. So it plays important role to distinguish whether a sound nasal or oral. Next we have tongue, which is the most flexible speech organ, main articulatory production, most consonants and vowels. As you see here, the tongue is divided into 5 main parts: tip, blade, front, back, root, and also includes the epiglottis. Here, first we will look at the epiglottis. Epiglottis is this part, okay, where when you are speaking, it rises, so allows the air from the lungs to move. When you are eating, it closes, then the food goes to the stomach. So it plays an important role and control the flow of the air. So it's a leaf-shaped cartilage above the larynx, prevent food entrance along the windpipe, and contribute to the few sounds in some languages. In the oral cavity, as I said, if the velum is raised, the sounds are, the air comes from the oral cavity, and the sounds produced are called oral sounds. And if the velum is lowered, the air passes from the nasal cavity, then these are called nasal sounds, such as m, n. And pharynx, these are the muscular passages connecting the oral cavity and the larynx. This part is the pharynx, resonance and airflow regulatory. The air has to pass by touching the pharynx. Okay. And now we will look at the active and the passive organs. What are the active organs? Active organs move during the speech production to create different speech sounds. For example, tongue. Tongue moves and touches this part, alveolar ridge, teeth, hard palate, soft palate. Okay, lower lip. So lower jaw moves and touches to the upper jaw, velum or soft palate. From here you can see the movement through, and when it rises, the velum is also rises. Okay, when it lowered, the velum is also lowered. So velum and the uvula also the active organs. And next we have vocal cords. Either they are close, okay, or they are wide apart. So these are the 4 main active organs, and the passive organs remain relatively stationary and provide a surface against the active organs, such as upper lip. And they cannot move, but the lower lip goes and touch the upper lip. Upper teeth, the lower lip goes and get contact with the upper teeth. Alveoli, tongue go in contact. For the hard palate, same, the tongue goes into the contact. Upper laryngeal wall, where uvula or the soft palate goes in contact with the laryngeal wall for the production of the sweet sounds. So these are the organs, even though they do not directly ask in the UGC NET examination on the organs, but this video is very important for the upcoming topics in phonetics. These are place of articulation, manner of articulation, and other videos in phonetics. So please do subscribe to our channel NET JRF Scholars for more interesting videos for UGC NET Paper 2 Linguistics. Thank you.